Thank you so much, Robin and Lakshmi. It's always an honor and a joy to be with you. I'm dedicating this piece today to the enslaved laborers and the almost free laborers who built the University of Virginia and so many other physical and social structures within our society and didn't receive proper recognition or remuneration for doing so. Personal reference and dedication to my own ancestors who were also builders of the University of Virginia. This piece was inspired by my discovery of an ancestor by the name of John Reuben Barber, who was documented as a 17 or 18-year-old free colored man that labored as a waiter in Hotel A and Hotel F, which were dormitories at the University of Virginia in 1860. So he was a free working man, so to speak. But the question for us 7 generations later, was he and are we still waiting on freedom at work? So the title of this piece is Almost Free. Like leaping into a mirror, traveling to see her grandmothers along trails that blaze with beguiled smiles and knowing gaze, almost free. Her thirst was quenched by the waiter who served life through 7 mothers' favor, from waiting on freed schoolboys and men, collecting pennies and waiting then on his family's true freedom, almost free to match his papers and pennies, to be freed of terror and inequity, the shackles of low expectation, stacked decks and bruised egos, patrons, disappearing acts from the pages of history, almost free. Where the dawn of righteousness would make warriors of daughters and their daughters and their daughters, 7 generations of waiting to be almost free. Now, Ethel married the son of a freeman from Niagara's movements and named their son Freeman and their daughter Norma, like the standard bearer she was to her daughters and granddaughters and great granddaughters, who were the exceptions that followed the rules by breaking the molds cast by their schools, almost free. Business owners, doctors, teachers with perfect penmanship, diction, and grammar, masters of discourse, poise, and mediation, caps and gowns flow generation over generation, never the first, always the first, nevertheless, never the last, maybe the only, refuse to be lonely. Stacking degrees and university IDs like trading cards and passports to safe havens when weary of racial battle fatigue from being sidelined in the major league, almost free. From the fight for freedom, claimed in fierce pride, heads held high as daughters who take ownership of homes their mothers and fathers built and live there with the entitled peace and peace of mind and spirit, almost free to speak, to think, to labor freely and abundantly and dine on the fruits at the head table, where liberation was served to enable brothers and sisters and cousins whose patience had grown thin, waiting for days when their long lost birthright would be born again, almost free. To be bold, to dream big, and lift up the average colored girl. No pretense, no unicorns, no rainbows, no tap shoes, only chucks and pearls, and a cocktail of imagination served with a paper umbrella to float high above the burden of exceptionalism and simply be almost free. To embrace the mundane when needed to sustain a piece of glory and dignity and care, to selfishly exercise the freedom to fail with grace and humility that second chances hail, almost free. Where the gallows are reserved for the soul-crushing horror of 4 centuries of raping and pillaging lands and hands, breaking through serpentine walls with truth that only holy boldness can bring when freedom starts to ring, almost free. Where the guardrails now stand in Charlottesville's sacred land on the shoulders of those who grieve from the Nigerian woes of Eveline's daughters and her babies, until they can wait no more, as it only serves to fight with all her might to free them of the chore of being almost free. So she carried in her bosom their A game. 17 years old, free colored girl, beckoned by ancestors to return to her Mecca, destined to beat the odds by playing chess while they played checkers. 7 generations of completion and 360 degrees of freedom, full circle, almost free, almost free, almost free. Thank you.